Welcome to week 17, guys. FTFN. This is it. This is week 17. This is our final virtual tailgate of the season. So I implore you guys, make sure you guys smash thumbs up and be a part of Fan to Fan. Follow us on social because we're not letting up when it comes to social media and YouTube. We're going to get some YouTube content out here for you guys, regularly talking about playoffs, off-season stuff, pro draft. We're going to keep it going through the off-season. Today, there's a lot of fantasy implications for those people that are still in fantasy. If you're in fantasy, I feel sorry for your league because a lot of people are resting. Now, more NFL playoff implications. That's more important. That's what we got to focus on today. So we're going to get on Matt here, talk about the latest news and notes, and also we're going to dive into some playoff. Like, there's a lot of teams that need to win, right? Because they won't make the playoffs. So Matt's going to dive into that a little bit. We're going to talk about some injuries going into this week as well. We got Jeff on. Then we're going to start off rolling it with the matchup, starting off with Washington versus Philly, which is actually an 8 o'clock game. We're just going to start off with that one to kick this off because that's a very important game. So let's get to it. Matt, what is going on, man? Let's talk playoff picture here.
Hey, Joe. Happy New Year, man. How are things?
I'm doing great, man. What's happening?
Not much. Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. There's a lot going on today, and I tried to make it as easy to follow as possible, but we do have some news and some notes to get into today. The major story being that Alvin Kamara has been placed on the COVID reserve list. This is after scoring 6 touchdowns last week.
Huge.
So the Saints will be without him today.
Hold on, I got to say something about
other
that.
News is that
one sec, Matt. I'm pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill robbed them of the 7th one. Just continue. Yeah. I'm pissed off about that still.
Yeah, he tied a Christmas Day record there. So if he would have had the other score, he would have broken that record that was set back in 1991. So the Miami Dolphins are also going to be without quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was placed on the COVID list as well. Very interesting situation going on there. Obviously, we know that he came in relief of Tua Tagovailoa to throw that Hail Mary pass where he had his face mask pulled at the same time. So in a must-win game for the Miami Dolphins, which I'll get to in a second here, it'll be interesting to see how they utilize Tua knowing that Ryan is not going to be there. For the playoff picture here, like I said, I tried to dumb it down as much as I could here. So for must-win games today, we have Baltimore can clinch a playoff berth with a win. The Tennessee Titans can clinch with a win and a Baltimore loss. The Cleveland Browns can clinch with a win. The Indianapolis Colts can clinch with a win and a Tennessee loss. And with a win today, Buffalo would clinch the number 2 seed in the AFC as they have a tiebreaker with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is, of course, if both teams win. Heading over to the NFC, the Green Bay Packers can clinch a first-round bye with a win today. The Arizona Cardinals can clinch with a win. And looks like it's going to be a good old battle for the NFC least as it is still up for grabs. The Washington football team can clinch the division today with a win. But if they don't, there's two different scenarios here that can play out. The first being that Dallas can clinch the division with the win and a Washington loss. And the New York Giants can also clinch the division with a win and a Washington and Dallas loss. So, in a week 17 where there isn't really a whole lot going on, typically in a playoff race this close, things can really heat up as we get late into the afternoon today.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. That Washington game is going to be crazy. We're going to talk about that right away.
Especially with Alex Smith, he has been given the green light to go. Obviously, we all know that Dwayne Haskins has been released from the team. So it's interesting to see how if Tyler Heineke is put back into action again, if Smith is not necessarily 100%, but a big game for all the teams mentioned here today.
Yeah, for sure, man. Anything else we need to know about breaking news, anything like that? I heard there was a video with Aaron Rodgers, and he was getting these eyes from this lady that she really wanted them. Any other cool trending media news we need to know?
Only other thing I have mentioning right now is that in that Buffalo-Miami game, it'll be interesting to see what Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane do. They are 40 passing yards away from a Drew Bledsoe Bills passing record. So Josh Allen, if he's placed in for a couple series, also you don't want to risk injury, be it that they have one of their most anticipated playoff runs in their history. Interesting to see how they kind of utilize their starters. Will they go for the accolades or will they go for rest?
All right, Matt, we appreciate you. Thank you very much, man, for being here. We appreciate you. So now we're going to talk to Jeff here to talk about some injuries going into this week. I know a lot of players are resting. Jeff, you may or may not know about that, right?
Yeah, no, there are a lot of guys. For starters, the Chiefs have guys resting. Mahomes not going to play. Tyreek Hill, they said it was a hamstring, but it's rest. He's not going to play. And they got a handful of other guys. Big Ben's going to rest for the Steelers against Cleveland. So Mason Rudolph is going to name. There's a handful of other guys out there resting, but some of those games don't really matter as much. Against Arizona today, he broke his thumb, had surgery. And then, he already talked about Smith is going to play. How effective will he be? It's interesting. It's going to be cold. His calf, maybe it acts up, maybe it doesn't. It could tighten up real quick. But the good thing about being in the NFL, they got that'll up, so he should be able to handle that. Gibson and McLaurin are two people. I don't know if he mentioned them or not, but Gibson, the tailback, and McLaurin, obviously the wide receiver. They're saying that they're going to go, and so we'll see how effective that they'll be. Especially McLaurin, what his effectiveness would be. From a fantasy perspective, Dalvin Cook had death in the family. He is going to be out, so he's not going to happen for the Vikings today. Michael Thomas is also out on IR along with Kamara and the rest of the running backs in New Orleans, so that'll be a sloppy game. And then Miles Sanders is going to be out for the Eagles. And so, along with Dallas Goedert, they're both injured. They're both out. So that's going to be a really good game, but should be a really sloppy, ugly game tonight in Washington.
All right. Well, thanks, Jeff. We appreciate the update. Lots going on here. And that's why fantasy, guys, you don't do fantasy in week 17. Everybody's resting, and there's so many implications and impacts because of that, right? So you want to stay away from that.
Absolutely. There's so much junk going on. So thanks, Joe, and y'all have a good day.
I appreciate you. It looks like you're going into surgery or something there. You got your, what's that? You got your scrubs on?
We had to wear all these gowns and everything just because of all the COVID protocols, and we've got a bunch of COVID in the building, and we got to wear the gowns and the mask and the shields and all that crap. So.
Well, that's Fan to Fan Network. We got feet on the street, man. We're right in there. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk soon. Good luck. Stay safe. Stay safe. Yeah. Appreciate you. All right,
appreciate it, guys.
Let's dive into the matchups right away. Let's start off with this heated matchup here. We got both ambassadors here, so it's going to be like Norb says that we're going to put two spiders in a jar. We're going to shake it up here, and we're going to let them go. So Philly and Ed, I'll let you guys take the floor here, man. Guys.
Yeah. Hey, I see you, Ed. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, man, I'm going to kick this off, man, because I'm going to tell you right now. Look, I ain't been excited for a loss all season. Y'all need to handle y'all's business today, brother. There was no logical reason today for the Eagles to get this W. So listen, hey, Miles Sanders is out. Dallas Goedert's out. Everybody pretty much on our roster is out today. Look, we trying to get a top 5 draft pick. Dallas don't need to make the playoffs. The Giants don't need to make the playoffs. As sickening as this is, Ed, yes, y'all need to handle y'all's business today. So I'm sure, hey, listen. Hey, let me get a fly Eagles fly from you today because, hey, y'all know what time it is. We logically need to take this L today. So, hey, we going to see how it looks. I'm embarrassed that they flexed us to prime time, and right now we got an E on our foreheads. There ain't no purpose for us to even play this game out. But they want to put us on prime time, so y'all better handle y'all's business today. And it's terrible, but it's always fly Eagles fly. But logistically today, hey, we need to take this L, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll shake hands on that one. I like how you rested all your starters. We'll help you get that 5th pick. Jim Schwartz, I mean, he's already saying he's going to retire. Carson Wentz wants a trade. You might as well rest all your guys. D-Jax, Fletcher Cox. Let us win. Like you said, you don't want to see the Cowboys in there. You rather see us in there. If anybody else, you rather see us in there. We got Alex Smith on one leg. He's going to play tonight. Gibson on one toe is going to play tonight. McLaurin has a high ankle sprain. He's going to throw himself out there tonight. So we'll get a championship for you. The NFC East, not the NFC least. We'll call the NFC East tonight since Washington is going to win it. So, but we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the tank.
Blow this, man. If y'all blow this, y'all is straight trash juice, brother. I'm gonna tell you right now. Hey, the opportunity is there. Y'all gotta take advantage because, again, hey, Dallas embarrassed us last week. My team has been an absolute disappointment this whole season. We ready to wrap this season up. So, hey, again, we got a whole mess in Philly. Jim Schwartz may not be back, like you said. We having coaching issues. We might fire our GM. We don't know what we're doing at this point, but we're going to get a lot of answers this offseason. But starting today, hey, there ain't no point of winning tonight because we ain't did that all season. So, hey, handle y'all business. It's still Fly Eagles Fly. Let's get it.
Hold on a second. You guys are dialed in and plugged in. I'm not, and other people might not be, particularly in these teams. So is Philly purposely going to try to lose this game?
Yep. They're
straight up
trying to get top 5 pick.
So, I mean, the way it's looking, we're resting all of our starters. I didn't see people, on the injury report that didn't even get hurt last game. They just got mysteriously hurt before this game. So, yeah, Miles Sanders is out. We're losing Derek Barnett. Fletcher Cox is out. We're losing a lot of our perennial players at the right time, conveniently after we get eliminated. So, yes, hey, I'm not going to say we tanking. I'm definitely not about no tank business, but we definitely ain't giving full effort today. I won't be shocked if we roll out our third string quarterback. At least that would be my plan. We need to get some Nate Sudfeld action today into.
Is Hurts playing or no? Do you know?
Hurts is playing. He is playing. And, hey, I mean, that's a risk that the Eagles are taking right now. Again, I'm not a fan of it. We're already eliminated. I don't see a purpose in rolling Jalen Hurts out there. Again, yes, I know he needs the reps. He's a rookie. But at the same time, listen, there's too many cons I see to it. He can get injured. Again, we're going to mess up draft position. Dallas going to go to the playoffs. No, sir. Too many cons.
So, Ed, let me ask you something. So if you guys lose somehow, the winner of the Giants and Cowboys are in the division, correct?
Yeah, I don't see us losing to a third-string team right now. But if that some way somehow does happen, Cowboys could win. I don't think the Giants would beat the Cowboys. But Philly Notion say 1, 2, 3 Cancun because you guys are ready for vacation already.
Oh, my God. Well, I'm telling you right now, you will be ridiculed, Ed, if you guys somehow lose this game.
We should be. No excuses. I mean, we should not lose to a third-string team. No D-Jacks, no Fletcher Cox. They got like fourth-string offensive linemen. Chase Young should have like at least 2 sacks. I mean, the coaches don't want to be there. The players don't want to be there. They mentally checked out. Carson Wentz doesn't want to be there. They've been checked out.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on the channel. Maybe you guys could do a collab on. We'll put it onto the YouTube channel. It's our last virtual tailgate. Thank you guys for the entire season. Next season we're coming out strong, so we're gonna keep in touch. We're gonna get your content on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for being here. Let's go Washington, I guess. It's great.
Fly Eagles fly. Handle y'all business. That's all I'm gonna say.
Got you, man.
All right, guys, we appreciate it. Let's move on here. Both ambassadors are here. Let's move on here to the Vikings and the Lions here. Now, this is a kind of a mean nothing game, if I'm correct here.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mean nothing game.
I feel for you. First of all, so I want to talk about some things, though, going on here. So, first of all, Dalvin Cook, I've lost my father myself, so I know how that feels, and I really empathize with Dalvin Cook. Do you have any updates on how Dalvin Cook is dealing with this, if this is going to light a fire for him going into next season? Any updates on why he lost his father? I mean, 46, this is insane. How did his dad go? I mean, I saw pictures of his dad.
When I last checked yesterday, I have not seen an update on what the cause of death was with the father. I think it's just 2020, right? I mean, 2020, and feel bad for him. And I'm glad that he's made the right decision to go be with his family.
100%. Even if playoffs are on the line. Matter. Even if playoffs are on the line, because
even if playoffs are on the line, it doesn't matter.
You can't get that time back, and family first. So yeah, I'm just very saddened by that because again, I can relate to that story So it's really sad. Apparently, I'm hearing his brother plays for the University of Florida, and he didn't play as well.
Yeah.
In the bowl game, with this, so that's really, really sad. So yeah, I mean, with Detroit, I mean, Golladay, what a scratch he's been this year, Dos?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I was hoping at some point he'd get back because they decided not to put him on IR. I don't think we've seen him since like week 7 or 8.
Crazy. What happened to him this year?
I don't know. I mean, he had a hip injury and it was non-contact, but they said like he was improving, so they're like, we're not going to put him on IR. And then they said something happened, he tweaked it. And every week they say he was progressing, but he was never practicing, so he never got back to practice.
It scares me with players like that. They kind of do that. It doesn't look like much, but maybe it's worse, or maybe the team's not letting on that it's that. But it almost concerns me for fantasy because, like, I'm going to next year, and he's elite talent. I love Kenny Golladay. I think the talent is there. I give him a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL if healthy and if firing on all cylinders. But what happens with Golladay? Like, does he come back next season? Are they looking at him? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, that's the big question. And I thought earlier it was a no-brainer. You're bringing it back, but now there starts to be questions because what about his health? I think you definitely got to ask what his FIP is going to be like for the future. But I'm not really sure. I mean, right now the Lions really don't have any wide receivers under contract next year. Marvin's under contract, Galladay's under contract, Danny Amendola, Jamal Agnew. They don't really have anybody. So it's I want to bring him back, but he's going to get paid like a top receiver because he's played like that. When he's healthy, and where the Lions sit in the draft, if Matthew decides to stay, they could easily, snag a top wide receiver. So I would love to bring him back. I really hope they do, but with the money situation, I don't really know. I just think though, if Matthew's not here, it's going to be even harder to maybe move on because then you're in a situation where now you got to get a rookie quarterback, and he's losing some big weapons.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks, I think, overall with the Lions going into next season. Is Swift going to take a step up? Because I like him a lot for fantasy, but are they going to utilize him as more of a workhorse running back? What's going on? Is it going to be a committee again this year? What do you think for next year?
Yeah, I guess it depends on who comes in. Right now we're still trying to figure out who's going to be the coaching here. But I knew the last coaches, the last general managers, they didn't do that. But Swift will be the number 1 next year. I mean, he's just far and away better from any running back that we have right now. And when he's running really well when he's getting the opportunity, I think he's averaging like 4.6 yards per carry. So he'll be the number 1 for sure. I'm kind of hoping they grab another 2. I know for fantasy or not, but I'm kind of hoping they grab a number 2 to put with him because right now with Kerryon and AP, I like AP, but Kerryon, we need a number 2 running back, but he will for sure be the number 1. I expect him to get more consistent carries throughout the year.
Will, I got some questions for you being a fantasy head here. Expectations for Jefferson next season. I loved him. This was a guy that I had on all my rosters. People were sleeping on. What are expectations for Jefferson? Do you think he could be the 1 there over Thielen next year?
Oh, I think you have to assume he's the 1. I actually think Irv Smith is the 2 next year.
Yeah.
Not that Thielen's not going to get his catches, but when you've seen Irv Smith play and get a little bit of focus in the offense, you realize that he's such an underused talent. I think the real question is Kubiak back as offensive coordinator next year? He wasn't that committed in an interview earlier this week. I think there could be more changes to the Vikings than we realize. Reef being sat today for COVID-19. I think there's I think people underestimate how much change might be coming this year with the Vikings in the offseason. Also depends on the salary cap. If the cap goes down to $176 million, Vikings are about $10 million over. But if the owners decide they don't want to have all the change on the rosters league wide and they keep the cap even at 185 or 198, it'll be interesting to see. But I think definitely Jefferson's number 1 going into next season. And it'll be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings trade players in the offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Hunter, Anthony Barr, I think even Thielen could be up for being trade candidates in the offseason.
All right. So final score on this game, guys. What are your thoughts? How does this game play out?
3-3 tie.
Oh man. I'm just hoping we don't give up like 30 to 40 points to this game. I mean, I don't know. Let's go out. I don't know. Let's just go out with the bang. I just hope it's exciting. I hope Stafford puts some big numbers. I just hope it's not his last game. I'll just leave it like that. I just hope it's not his last game here.
See, that's the opposite feeling. We want to lose, and we're hoping it is Kirk Cousins' last game.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate you as always. Appreciate you. Matt, are you there? I'm going to put you on the spot. We're going to talk Buffalo. Our Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins guys are off today. Can you just talk really quickly?
Sir.
Can you talk about this game, please?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things I want to touch on coming off of the Detroit, Minnesota stuff. So it looks like Robert Saleh, who is a Michigan native, is kind of in the running for the head coaching job there. As in regards to Kenny Golladay, what I anticipate is that they'll franchise tag him. Be it that he is on an expiring contract there, and they're not really too sure if the new management team that's going to come on, obviously losing their head coach and their general manager, will want to extend him. So giving him that kind of make it or break it year, what we saw with the Dallas Cowboys kind of situation there. So that'll be interesting to watch. In regards to the Buffalo and Miami game today, it looks like Buffalo is going to be resting all of their players today. We got an update in the chat here that the line shifted. So looks like Buffalo is going to be resting. So this is really all up to Miami. With a second string Buffalo Bills team, I believe that Miami will win, which isn't ultimately a big deal for the Bills. I mean, 2 seed, 3 seed, it doesn't really make that all of a difference. But my biggest worry is injuries on the day, especially if we lose any of our offensive linemen, defensive linemen. Tre'Davious White will most likely be sitting. Jerry Hughes will most likely be sitting. Josh Allen most likely sitting. So interesting to see, because we had no preseason. Kind of getting those depth rotational players in and kind of seeing how they, fill in the lineup. I'm interested to see if Trey Adams, who was very polarizing at the combine when he was asked, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? And he said to make, I got to word this properly, make his genitalia bigger. Yeah. So interesting to see how he does in the I can see Dose laughing at that one. It'll be interesting to see how he does if they place him at left tackle, right tackle. I'm also really interested to see if Gabriel Davis gets a little bit more touches. Also, Jake Fromm. There's been no real update on what the starting quarterback situation is looking like for the Buffalo Bills, but we drafted Jake Fromm to be kind of like our emergency quarterback. Obviously, with no preseason, it's kind of hard to tell what really kind of NFL product he's going to be. On the Miami side, I mean, they're in a must-win game today. If they want to be able to get into that wild card, they have to come away with the win today against the Buffalo second-string team. They should be able to do it. Yeah. Like I mentioned in our previous chat here, that they're going to be without Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I've heard a couple of rumblings on Twitter and through some different analysts that, we might see another Josh Rosen situation in Miami. The team isn't too sold on Tua. There is a little bit of a letdown. He was poised to be this generational quarterback, not necessarily just talent alone, but also on his football IQ. And the reason why they keep putting Ryan Fitzpatrick in is because at that particular time and juncture, Ryan Fitzpatrick has given them a better chance to win with talent and football IQ.
Couple questions for you. So they're going to screw my Colts, right? If Miami wins, am I screwed? Are the Colts screwed? How does this work?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
so
that is unfortunately the situation.
So let's go Buffalo. I actually grew up in the Buffalo area, and I live near the area, so I'm kind of like this closet Buffalo fan. Like I'm just
me and you are both the Canadian guys here. I mean, we get Bills on local television here. We have the Leafs, we have the Raptors, we have the Blue Jays, and we have the Bills all on local TV. So how did you get to be a Colts fan?
Just Peyton Manning, man. I liked what was going on there. I like the Reggie Wayne. I like the whole team back then, so I jumped on that bandwagon. So I kind of, like I said, I kind of like the Bills still. I'm kind of rooting for them secretly. Like, I'm just not crazy about them. But, I'm kind of going for the Bills. So they got to win this one. I mean, this is what kind of annoys me, though. It's like you've got all this talent. I know you got to rest them because you've clinched a playoff spot, but it sucks. I like people playing things out, Now you're giving Miami this chance. You're going to screw other teams. It just sucks,
Yeah, and I mean, especially coming off of a game last week where they absolutely routed New England Patriots, and which was seen kind of like a changing of the guard in the AFC East. I mean, I grew up a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, so choosing a losing team in the Buffalo Bills in my childhood was kind of a no-brainer. But seeing them do excellent this season it's kind of surreal. I mean,
it feels like 92 all over again for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people obviously much older than I that remember the 91 to 94 run with Jim Kelly and the K-Gun and Bruce Smith, and this is the best team I've seen in my lifetime. So it's going to be a little bit of a shame to see them kind of go through the motions today at 1:00. But if that gives us a healthy Josh Allen and a better chance to win the playoffs, I'm all game.
Yeah, if you guys don't remember, Bills, boy, I love losing Super Bowls. I think they lost 4 Super Bowls in a row or something crazy like that.
4 in a row.
That's insane. If you lose 1, I get it. 2, okay. 3, like 4? Like it was crazy.
Wide right is something you can't even mention in the 716.
That's crazy, man. One last thing, though. I'm absolutely mesmerized. Yeah. I'm mesmerized by that unit behind you. Can anybody from the Fan to Fan Network identify what that is? It looks like an 80s like it's not a computer. It's not like what is that thing? What is that thing?
It's okay. Okay, so I'm in my basement here. I'm usually in my studio upstairs, but I was feeling a little lazy this morning, and the quarantine hair is pretty awful.
Is that dehumidifier? What is it? What is it?
It's a space heater.
Oh, okay. It looks like a robot.
It's a dinosaur, man. It's super loud. No, it's a dinosaur.
It looks like an 80s robot movie or something like that, like those characters. I don't know what that is.
It's like R2-D2.
Something like that, yeah. All right, man. I was mesmerized by it, so I had to bring it up. All right, let's move on here. I got to go on to our Jets and Patriots rivalry here. Jets are winning. Thanks, Matt. Jets are winning. Let's talk about those Jets. Wow, you guys are better than the Rams, and I'm so excited for you. And if this was judged by who beat who, you guys are like the best, one of the best.
Yeah, I know, but unfortunately, it's not. But I mean, yeah, the Jets have looked solid in these last 2 weeks. All the speculation obviously is going to be that Gase is going to be gone. They're going to be bringing in a new head coach, new culture, and I mean, I'm personally hoping for a new quarterback. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, what is going on with you guys? Are you guys going to be looking at Lawrence? Like, what's going to happen now? You guys lost the first overall pick. Do you think, would you consider Fields? Like, what would happen here? Like, what if Fields falls, or what's the thought process right now?
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much everything's on the table. I feel like Justin Fields is on the table, Zach Wilson, trading down, keeping Sam Darnold. Like, there's a ton of different directions that the Jets franchise can go in. I personally would want to draft either Wilson or Fields at 2. I think trading down is a little too risky. I definitely don't want to draft another tackle, whether, Penei Sewell at spot number 2, or again, a trade down for a team wanting to come up for a quarterback like Carolina or something like that. So again, me personally, I just want to start over, start fresh, clean slate, and move forward.
All right, man. What about you, Colby? What do you think of that? What's his deal with the Patriots?
Yeah, so like you said, the Jets have been on fire the past few weeks. And for the Patriots, it's the exact opposite. You know, they've been doing good the past few weeks. We've looked like complete crap the past few weeks. The Patriots aren't pulling out the stops this week. Honestly, the Jets are in a position to get a win against the Patriots in forever. And I'm okay with it. I mean, the linebacker core they have, everyone is on IR. The Patriots offense is getting even worse this week with half of their offensive line on IR, Damian Harris on IR. So it's not going to be an easy game for the Patriots whatsoever. It's going to get extremely rough for them. You have practice squad guys, you have backups to the backups coming up for this game. So, I mean, the Patriots are pretty much equal to the Jets in this game, but I'm okay with the loss just so the Patriots can get a higher draft pick. The highest pick the Patriots can get is number 9. They can get within the top 10, and that would be ideal for the Patriots. Now, a lot of stuff has to happen for them to get number 9, but it all starts with the Patriots losing to the Jets. If they win against the Jets, the best they can get is the 14th to 15th pick. But if they lose, the highest they can get is that number 9 pick, and I'm shooting for that.
Yeah, so I don't know. You guys need some improvements definitely in the offseason. I don't know what to expect from you guys. Hopefully you guys make the right pick. So expectations for next year, how do you guys finish next year? Can you guys make some record predictions? But it's all predicated on the draft, so it's hard to tell, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's all going to depend on what the Patriots do with the draft. It's going to be very dependent on free agency. They're number 3 ranked in the available cap space. So Cam Newton, they're saying, is likely not going to come back. So that makes stuff even tougher, just not knowing who in God's name is going to be the quarterback of the New England Patriots in 2021. So record prediction wise is super tough, because this team is going to look drastically different than it does this year.
Why is Cam not coming back? Is it just he didn't amount to where he was back in 2014-15 that year? Is it why isn't he coming back? Is that his decision or a coaching decision?
I think it was more of a mutual decision, but I think it'd be more on the Patriots side now. Adam Schefter reported it. For all we know, it could be a last-minute surprise, but I think you're kind of looking back and you're looking at what Cam's doing. The Patriots are still trying to run that Tom Brady-esque offense. They kind of based it around Cam a little bit for a few weeks, and then they went right back to it. The style of quarterback Cam Newton is just not what the Patriots offense is built around. That's just not what they like to run. His mechanics are extremely off. His thought process, just everything, the type of quarterback that Cam Newton is just not what the Patriots like to do. And I just don't think that, it's a match that they like. And I think they're going to go in a different direction because they know that rolling with Cam is only going to get them so far.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here for every virtual tailgate for the season, guys. We appreciate it. Ian, man, I feel for you this year, but I think things are looking up for you guys. Strong finish near the end, early draft picks. I mean, how do you complain here, Ian, right? You got to look forward, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Colby mentioned it too, that, New England has the third most cap space in the league. The Jets have the second. So it's too tough to tell for a record prediction. I mean, as far as the Jets are concerned, new coach, ton of cap space, ton of high draft picks. So it should be encouraging.
Yeah, bright future ahead for you guys. But if the Bills, I think they only get better. Just to let you guys know, I think the Bills get better. I think Josh Allen getting settled in, especially the connection he had with Diggs, they're going to be another contender this year. So you guys got to pull some rabbits out of your hats here to make some things happen for next season if you guys want to end up on top. That's my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I
think they're getting better. So I appreciate you guys as always. We'll see you at the FTFN meeting, guys, mid-month. We'll talk soon. I appreciate you guys.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys. All right, so let's bring Zach on here, and we've got NFL broadcaster, aka NFL broadcaster Tanner. Do you want to jump on here? I'm putting you on the spot, right on the spot. He's the new guy. Where's NFL? I don't know if he's by his computer, but we'll put Zach on here. Zach, do you want to cover here the Cleveland Pittsburgh game?
All right, I can cover the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. Maybe JT wants to jump in here. I know he's a Pittsburgh fan.
I didn't see. Is JT in here? I thought I saw.
JT's in here.
Okay. JT, why don't we cover two birds, one stone here? So why don't we cover literally birds, the Ravens and the Bengals. Let's cover that matchup, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Let's talk about these two matchups with you guys. I think you guys could cover both these games.
For sure. Which one you want to start with, JT?
Let's start, whatever you guys want.
Steelers. We can do Steelers. And
okay. The Browns haven't been practicing all week because they've had multiple COVID tests positive. We saw what they looked like last week when they didn't get any practice and they lost to the Jets. But the Steelers are resting Ben. We see how Mason Rudolph comes. I think the Browns will win this game. I looked and they're 10-point favorites, and I don't think that's anywhere near what it should be. I think it should be definitely lower. I think the Browns probably win by maybe a touchdown, but it'll be interesting to see how Mason Rudolph plays. Is he going to be a little scared of Myles Garrett over there, or what's going to go on?
Yeah, I'm hoping that Cleveland gets in because as a Steeler fan, if we don't get the 3 seed and we somehow Buffalo loses and we go up to number 2 and we have to face the Baltimore Ravens, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want that to happen. Like, I know my guy, Joe Nubo is on here. He was on Twitter saying that nobody wants to face nobody wants to face the Baltimore Ravens. And I was like, duh, like, why would Pittsburgh want to face a team that we've already played 2 times, beat them 2 times, just for them to beat us in the playoffs? 3rd time's the charm. Don't want that to happen. Now, you look at Pittsburgh, you're basically resting your starters, even though, like, at this point, like, who were your starters? Because you were still basically starting, like, fringe third stringers, practice squad players. So I really want to see how we're going to manage the defensive line position. Like, how many snaps is TJ Watt going to get? How many snaps is Cam Hayward going to get? Now, the wide receivers, I do expect them to play because you just look at how inconsistent and bad they've been over the last month. Yeah, they played good against Indianapolis, but Mike Tomlin is probably going to run the starters at wide receiver just because they've been so, poor over the last couple of weeks. Make sure that they come ready and prepared come playoff time next week. Now, the Baltimore Ravens facing Cincinnati. So this is crazy because Baltimore and Cincinnati were in this position a couple of years ago. I think it was 2018. Cincinnati had a losing record. All Baltimore had to do was beat Cincinnati to get in. Andy Dalton threw a prayer to, who was it? AJ Green, I believe it was.
I don't remember who it was, but that was when the Bills fans were like, go Bengals, go Bengals.
That's when they had Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. So for Cincinnati, this is a team that, like the New York Jets, everybody thought was trash. They've won 2 games in a row now. They beat Houston surprisingly last week. They beat the Steelers the week before. So for Cincinnati, I don't expect them to ease up in this game, but I do expect Baltimore to pull this one out. I do think it should be a blowout. So I'm going to take the Browns and I'm going to take the Ravens to get the victories.
Yeah, I'll add for the Browns game. I think this could be a game for Mason Rudolph where if he wants to have the starting job when Ben leaves, he's going to have to prove himself. And if he can't prove himself, the Steelers are going to start looking in other directions for when Ben leaves. And then for the Ravens game, the Bengals have actually looked really well in the past few weeks playing with their third-string quarterback, which actually impressed me. I think that also has to stem from Zach Taylor. He's been really good at the head coach. And I think it really shows that if you can win without your starting quarterback, that's how you prove yourself as a coach. Yep. I think he's done that. But the Ravens need this game, and the Ravens are coming into their own, and I think they should easily win this game as well. If the Ravens don't win by a lot, that says something about this team, and it makes me worry about them a little less coming in the playoffs, as Lamar struggled last year in the playoffs. So this will be an interesting game to watch. The Ravens should easily win, but if they don't, then it starts to question, can the Ravens actually do something this year?
And they might not make it to the playoffs at all if they lose this game because you still got Indianapolis that can sneak in. So
there's the 4 teams there that are tied.
It's crazy, man. I was telling my friend a couple of days ago, I said this may be the competitive that we may ever see the NFL. Like, there's a possibility that 2 10-win teams, possibly more, could end up missing the playoffs.
It's insane this week.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So my question is maybe more for JT. When are the Steelers looking? Because Big Ben is, a little long in the tooth. He's not getting any younger. When is Mason Rudolph not? He's obviously probably not going to be the solution. When are they going to start looking at a quarterback now? Do you know?
I think the Steelers have already been considering the quarterback options, but the Steelers are a really patient franchise because you look at how long they held on to Landry Jones a couple of years ago. He was, in my opinion, the worst backup in NFL history. Like, how can you be terrible with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell? So I think what the Steelers are doing right now, they don't really have a lot of cap space, especially with the caps, with the salary cap expected to go down. So I don't really think they're going to be all that much in a rush. I don't really think they bring in a veteran in free agency. If it is, it's probably like a dirt cheap deal. But really look to see what Pittsburgh does in the NFL draft. They could take a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th round where, the cap hit won't be all that big, rookie contract and things like that. So overall, I think the Steelers still have a good amount of confidence in Mason Rudolph pending what he does in this game. But the Steelers are normally a really patient franchise, and Big Ben is still slated to return for next year. So I think they may focus on that next year because they have a lot of things they got to worry about. Mike Hilton, Juju, James Conner, TJ Watt has the contract talks coming up. JJ Watt potentially could be on the market. So a lot of things that they have to maneuver with the salary cap.
Yeah, I think Ben's under contract for next year. Personally, for the Steelers, I'd like to see them take someone in the 3rd or 4th round, as you said. Have them sit under Ben for a year while Ben's still under contract because they can learn a lot from Ben. I don't think Mason Rudolph's the guy, but this will be his opportunity to prove himself. If he balls out today, then I think possibly he could be the future for them. I personally don't think he will, but that's another option. But if he doesn't, I think I'd like to see them draft someone this year, have him sit under Ben, learn a bit, and then give him the reins the year after.
All right, guys. Listen, I got to move on here. I appreciate it. There's going to be some exciting games to watch. Keep an eye out. Some fantasy implications there for you guys. Thank you. We got to move on to Dallas. Our Giants guy isn't here, but we got Dallas covered. What is going on, man? Jordan.
What's going on, my guys, man? Yeah, it's been an up and down season. I remember talking to my guy, Will, back in that Vikings game, 2-7. 2-7 is what he kept yelling out.
Right. Where's Will? Can we have that? Is Will still here? Do you guys, Will, you guys go round 2?
Look, I get you guys are excited that you may make the playoffs, but I think everybody in the fan-to-fan network would agree. Honestly, 7-9. Come on, guys. So you're going to get a first week out? Wouldn't you rather have the lower draft pick? I mean, really, honestly, are you guys really so desperate to say you're in the playoffs that you're happy with 7-9 and keeping McCarthy and doing? I mean, ask the Packer fans. Was it McCarthy or was it Favre and was it Aaron? Come on now. Now look, if you guys make the playoffs, great. I'll be honest with you. The rest of the NFC is just laughing. 7-9 and you're in the playoffs? when there's teams that don't have a better record than you that should be in the playoffs? Okay.
But
you guys can be in the NFC least because nothing's going to change.
There's nothing to
You'll
laugh
bring
about.
McCarthy back next year, and you'll still be horrible.
There's nothing to laugh about. There's nothing to laugh about, though. Shouts out to my guy Will. But I was saying, Joe, 2-7 is what I was hearing. But here we are fighting for an opportunity to make the playoffs, because what people have to realize is what I've been trying to explain to a lot of people on this show. Without Dak Prescott, we are on the verge of possibly having 2,000-yard receivers. Yes, with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Zeke's probably about to clip 1,000 yards. So the talent has always been there. We've had 4 different quarterbacks this season, and that is a hats off to Mike McCarthy and his staff to be able to bounty this team back together and get them to rally to even be in this position, because a lot of people didn't even think we were going to be in this position. Now, you look at what's happening with the Philadelphia Eagles. They have 2 quarterbacks, right? 2 quarterbacks, whatnot, and they still only clip about 4 wins. And so when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, no, I've never been a fan of tanking, losing for a draft position. That's really loser talk. What my focus is to continue to build the momentum and get ready for that 2021 season. And when we re-sign Dak Prescott, exactly what we're doing now. A lot of things have to work in our favor today. First of all, we have to take care of business and beat the New York Giants. I don't think this is going to be a walk in the park like a lot of people are assuming. I think it's going to be a close game, because what a lot of people have to realize is we're facing our old partner, Jason Garrett, and Jason Garrett's going to have some incentive to actually beat the Dallas Cowboys. And that's Jerry Jones and also Cowboys Nation's biggest fear, is to see Jason Garrett walking off that field excited that he ended our season. So I expect this to be a lot closer game than what a lot of people are expecting. The New York Giants play great with the defensive front and also the linebacker core. Where we can actually attack is their secondary. But granted, we still have Andy Dalton as our quarterback, and he's been up and down. Granted, he's been playing a lot better the past 3 games, but you never know. Our defenses play a lot better now that we got a few of our corners back. Also our linebacker play, but we are still sustainable to the run game. So you got to watch, players like Wayne Gallman. Also, Evan Ingram will give us trouble. But I expect the Dallas Cowboys to win this game, and then we'll have to wait tonight to see what happens with Philly. Now, I saw Philly Notion and Ed talking, but they forgot one key point. The quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan. He actually wanted to be a Dallas Cowboys. So Dallas Cowboys Nation, we are riding on the back of Jalen Hurts tonight to still get the job done. Even that Phillies wanting to rest all their starters and do all these different things and put unknown players on the injury reserve, Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert. If Jalen Hurts plays, I think the Cowboys still have a chance to possibly sneak into the playoffs. And if we do get into the playoffs, I mean, honestly, we could play Tampa the first game. I'm not even concerned about Tampa, to be honest, if that's our first round matchup. But we got to take it one step at a time. But like I said, the main part and focus for me is to make sure that Mike McCarthy can find a way to rally this team when we were reeling all throughout this season. And that's what he's done. He's actually got this team back. So we're bringing back our offensive coordinator and Kellen Moore, which we just gave an extension. Dak Prescott, I expect to be signed early. And then next year when I come on these Sunday morning shows on the Fan to Fan Network, y'all going to have to address me a whole lot differently.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hurts has got something to prove, and I think that he's going to have a good game. I mean, you dismantle Carson Wentz, you got to make a statement. You can't just go out and bend over and just be like, hey, man, I bow down to you. It just doesn't work like that. I think he's going to play. He's going to play hard. I like the optimism here. Dallas right now just got to take care of their job and let Hurts do his job. Again, I don't see Hurts. He's young. He's dynamic. He's got to make a statement. He won't just
quitter.
I can't imagine him just lying down and just taking this. I don't see it.
Right, especially after the performance he had versus us. He can't come out and lay another egg, because that's when the question marks could possibly start to happen. Like, well, maybe should we move on for Carson Wentz? Should we keep Hurts? I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to step up. He's going to play big. He's going to compete, and the chips will fall. Now, granted, they're going to have Alex Smith back tonight and Terry McLaurin and Gibson, as they mentioned earlier. But I feel like Philadelphia can compete for this position and actually win this game. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, first and foremost, we have to take care of business versus the New York Giants. I do not want to see Jason Garrett celebrating that he ended the Dallas Cowboys season. If it ends tonight at 8 p.m., then it is what it is. But I'm not really focused on draft picks. I'm focused on getting these players playoff experience and building for our future.
Yeah, I just want to end this. Again, I don't want to make excuses, but let's be realistic here. Once Dak went down, there had to be a huge adjustment. There was an adjustment phase, and you could have easily had 2 more wins with Dak there. Like, easily. Like, all day you would have made...
That's what I've been trying to explain.
Yeah, you would have made I think you would have made the playoffs for sure. And again, I'm not biased or anything like that. I'm just saying it how I think it would be. So yeah, man, good luck to you guys. You're going to need it a lot today. So
fingers crossed.
All right, man. So let's move.
Everyone, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. We'll see you. We'll see you next year. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys. Let's talk to Liam real quick with Atlanta. Expectations for this game. By the way, Liam, are you there?
What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
Good. I've been talking about this for a while, and maybe you can back me up here. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think you guys are going to win, if not win the Super Bowl, make it into the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be probably going to be Chiefs versus Bucks. That's my prediction.
The NFL does like to set up those storylines.
Hold on, Will's shaking his head. You're not a conspiracy theorist here, Will.
Look, it's going to kill me. It's Packers Chiefs. Oh, look, I don't look. Rodgers is playing now. We'll see how the left tackle thing plays out today. But it is Packers Chiefs, and that is far better a Super Bowl than watching the Chiefs destroy the Buccaneers on.
I agree. But again, we saw super powered Cam Newton back 5 years ago. That team should have won. Peyton Manning was out there throwing beach balls, and miraculously the Broncos win. The thing is, it's the best storyline. But imagine this storyline: you got the young face of the NFL now versus the old face Brady. They go at it, young versus old. Brady retires, but maybe it's next year. I don't know, but I think Brady gets another ring, similar to Ray Lewis, similar to Peyton Manning. They end off on an exclamation point, and I think Brady's going to get one more ring before he retires. And look, his team is now a superpower team. It's like almost kind of like the stars are aligning for him to get another ring, right?
It's interesting. I mean, we see it all the time, these weird storylines. 2012 is another one, Ray Lewis's last season.
How about the Harbaugh Bowl? Remember the Harbaugh brothers?
Yeah, the Harbaugh
I called
Bowl.
that. I called that. I'm like, what a great storyline.
The Harbaugh Bowl, Jerome Bettis in 05, playing in his home city in Detroit. I don't know. Just
But then again, sorry to interrupt. But then again, people say that aren't conspiracy theories. They'll say, well, Joe, it's like you can make a story with anything, and you literally can. You could take like the Jets and say, oh, well, Darnold's the big underdog, and what is it? David versus Goliath, right? Like anything can happen, right? They can make anything a storyline, but.
I told my buddies too, I said, with Tom Brady at quarterback now, don't be surprised if we get a few more calls than we did when we had Mike Glennon, Josh McCown, Jameis Winston, a few more of those ticky-tack calls going our way for stuff like roughing the passer. We didn't get a lot of them when you've got no-name quarterbacks in there or quarterbacks that are throwing 30 picks a season. But with Brady in there, the golden arm, you're getting more ticky-tack calls. We did against Minnesota, that's for sure. Something that we haven't seen a lot, but...
So what's going on with you guys? I mean, Atlanta has surprised people this year. Like, you can't completely count them out losing this game. What are your expectations for this game? Must win here. I mean, is everybody playing today?
Oh, man, we're going to be missing some guys on defense. Carlton Davis, our number one corner's out. We got hit with the COVID bug at a really bad time. Devin White actually tested positive on Thursday. So he might actually miss the wild card game, which would be huge, missing your superstar middle linebacker. And then we're also missing Shaq Barrett. Steve McClendon's out with COVID. We're going to be missing like 4 starting defenders today, which is pretty scary. And that's the thing about Atlanta. They're in every game. I mean, they were in the Kansas City game last week. They had us down 17-0 just a couple weeks ago. But luckily, Tom Brady turned it around and we put up 31 points in the second half. I'm just hoping this offense can have a strong day, hoping Mike Evans becomes the first receiver in NFL history with 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons to start his career.
Wow.
And I just hope we can get a win. According to Philly Notion, it sounds like we'll be playing in Washington next week if we get a win today. We'll see. We can play basically anybody. I think we can still play Washington, Dallas, New York, Seattle, New Orleans. I mean, we'll see how all the other games go today. But one thing's for sure, man, I'm pinching myself because it's been 13 years since the Bucs have been in the playoffs. I'm 25 now. The last time they were in it, I was a 12-year-old 6th grader.
Wow.
It's surreal, man. It's so it won't really probably hit me until we actually kick off the playoff game, but it's just so crazy that we're actually finally going to the postseason again, man. It feels so good.
Brace yourself for another Super Bowl. A Super Bowl win. Just brace yourself because Brady's going to get another one. Mark my words. And we can save this file. Mark it. What's the date today? January 3rd, 2021. I'm calling it right now. And you guys want to hear? I'm calling it right now. Brady will get another Super Bowl before he retires. If it's either this year or next year, he will go out on exclamation point. Brady will win. The fix is in. I'm telling you, you heard it here right now. January 3rd. I called it before, but I'm saying it now. And you see, like, the Buccaneers just keep getting better as they go. They're ramping up. I mean, the only thing stopping the way is Aaron Rodgers. But again, we're going to talk to Bostorowski in a second here with the Packers. He's kind of like, it depends if he shows up. Sometimes Aaron Rodgers doesn't show up, right? He's been good all year with the chip on his shoulder, but will that continue? I mean, it's anybody's game in the playoffs, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, we obviously had probably our best game of the year against the Packers, but, that was a long time ago. It was in Tampa, a lot different at Lambeau in January. I've been saying it all season. I'd put the Bucs up against anybody. I think there is that much talent. It's just can they put it all together for 4 quarters? It would be a really tough task in Green Bay at Lambeau for sure.
So how does this game play out real quick before you go? Final score?
Despite losing some of our defenders, I think they're going to go out with a bang, end the season with 4 straight wins. I'm going to go Bucs 35, Falcons 23.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a win for the
Bucs. Unless there's some sort of fluke upset, I definitely see the Bucs winning this one as well. All right, let's move on here. We're going to go to the Saints and Panthers. So, Zach, I don't know if you're still here. Do you want to cover the Saints? But we got to get Big Cat on here. Big Cat's been quiet lately, understandably so. Big Cat, man, what are your thoughts to kind of end the season? You came on this season with a lot of energy, and now, we've seen the fall of the Panthers. What are your thoughts going into next season and expectations for today?
Well, hey, Joe, you mind if I sing? I want to sing. I want to sing today. Can I sing
Please,
today?
yeah, I can do whatever you want.
Okay. Panther Nation, it's going to get better. Follow me, all right?
Okay.
Let all the losses be for God, and we get a top draft pick. Let all the losses be for God, and we get a quarterback fix. Happy New Year, Panther Nation! It's almost over.
Wow, that was
Let me tell you this right here.
Good vocals.
Yeah, thank you, man. I've been working Liberace shit. So let me tell you this right here, man. I'm so glad this season is about to end. And I don't care that the Saints are missing 9 running backs, a tight end, a toenail, and a piece of hair. I don't care about that, all right? They beat us with no receivers last time. Sean Payton's going to get creative. They might beat us with all kickers this time. It doesn't matter. This season has been a wash. A quarterback has been a wash. And I'm not even really tripping off Teddy Bridgewater like that. I'm tripping off the fact that the things that he was said to do, the accuracy, the competitive pressure and stepping up in the pocket and hitting big receivers, all the stuff that he was sold to us that he could deliver on, he couldn't deliver on. So it's time to get a quarterback. And a little bit of breaking news here. Adam Schefter just mentioned the GM from the Jets is considering trading the number 2 pick or possibly Sam Darnold. So there might be some light at the end of this tunnel with this Carolina Panthers team. The best thing I can say about this year is we got a hungry defense up and coming. And Matt Rule's a decent coach. He's not a bad coach, man. But other than that, man, it's been horrible to watch Panther football this year.
Yeah, it was really hard to watch. But again, I'm an outsider here, so I'm unbiased here. But is it safe to say that, okay, well, CMC was out. Is it safe to say that you guys didn't really have ultra elite? Like, Robbie Anderson's good, DJ Moore, they're good, but they're no Mike Evans and Godwin. They're not Julio Ridley, right? They're good, but they're not, like, outstanding. Do you think that was a problem? Do you think the offensive weapons weren't there?
Well, hold up, Sparky.
Let's be realistic.
Tell me this right here.
They're the only 2,000-yard receivers on the team.
Thank you. You name me another duo in the NFL that has 2 receivers on their team that's over 1,000.
Joe Brady.
Okay, but still, you weren't talking well about what's his name, Bridgewater. You were down on him though.
Yeah, because Bridgewater's arm doesn't work. It didn't come with batteries. They stole us a quarterback that didn't have no arm. They didn't have no arm batteries in there, man. I don't know what's going on with him. My man's walking around there looking like Bambi when he scrambles. I don't know. It's hard to watch Teddy Bridgewater. This guy has lost 8 consecutive, but he has lost 8 games in the last drive. Minnesota, Chicago, who else? The Falcons. I can go on. It's 8 games this guy has lost with a young defense in a COVID year. With no preseason, with no practice, this guy has came down to 1 possession in the last fucking stretch of games and has lost. And I don't want to hear this stuff about a new offense because Kevin Stefanski came over from Minnesota with a new offense, a new system, a new team, and got those guys in the playoffs. So I don't want to hear that shit about everything's new for him. I don't want to hear that. It can be done. He's just not the guy to get it done.
He'd played with Joe Brady before, so it's not like it's completely new as Stefanski was in the Browns, and he just hasn't amounted to anything.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Panthers jersey here. Hope the Panthers take quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is not really going to be the answer. He's probably got possibly the top 3 wide receiver tandem, and he's done nothing with it. CMC's been hurt, but Mike Davis has been great. Like, it's all come down to Teddy Bridgewater not being able to make the plays.
Happy New Year, Panther Nation! Woo!
Hey, Big Cat, what about Haskins? There's some buzz about Haskins. Like, that wouldn't be a good move.
I don't want a nigga that sits in the strip club and studies his playbooks over chicken wings while getting his ass clapped in his face.
Yeah, he doesn't look focused.
He's not good for the culture.
Yeah, the culture.
Well, you got some things to do in the offseason there, Big Cat. You guys got to get prepared for next season.
Drink, cry, and masturbate. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Thank you for being here. All right, let's move on here to the Packers and the Bears. Packers and the Bears.
Joe, you're gonna eat your words, man. The Bucs, like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I look. It was in Raymond James Stadium. Like, Aaron Rodgers hates that stadium. Let me see when 52-year-old Tom Brady comes into Lambeau and it's snowing and it's 12 degrees out. Like, dudes, the defense is way better than it was then. Jair Alexander is arguably the number 1 corner in the league. Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos are playing at all pro levels. So, and they have the chance to win today and get the number 1 seed. If you look over my right shoulder there, that's from 10 years ago. That's that Sports Illustrated. And you know what it says? It says Pack on top, right?
Yeah.
Pack are on top right now, not the Bucs.
Yeah, but don't sleep on the Bucs. I mean, they got a good.
I'm not saying I'm not sleeping on them, man. But like, you got to give respect to Aaron Rodgers, the MVP of the league. Come on.
No, I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying, I just think the fix will be in. It doesn't matter what Aaron Rodgers do when the call's made, right? When they need a first down and they miss it by an inch or like a quarter of an inch.
Hey, man, as far as the rest of the league goes, they say Packers always get the refs calls. So I mean,
but do you really have faith in Mike Pettin? I mean, as defensive coordinator, I'm a Green Bay fan, and I love like what they're doing this year on defense, but still, I feel like
Ryan Tannehill is statistically a
Tanner, can we get a visual of you? Do you have your camera up or no?
I can't get it to work right now. I have like a Canon camera. I can't get it to work.
Derrick Henry was statistically the best running back this year. He is statistically the best running back.
And they did shut him down. They did
Ryan
well.
Ryan Tannehill, it was a wonderfully statistical quarterback. They held Ryan Tannehill. They shut him down. I mean, his completion percentage, his quarterback rating, his touchdown interception ratio, all the worst last week. But regardless of what that is about, we still have a game ahead of us.
Yeah, worry about the Bears.
We talked about this. Come on. You know I'm not saying this is a gimme. You know that.
No. Joe, where do you want us to start, me or Boss?
I'll let you go first.
Let's let you go. Let's talk the Bears. So what's going on? Finally, Montgomery's coming to his own. Allen Robinson looks good. Trubisky looks good. What happens with the Bears this season?
So first and foremost, I'd like my thanks for all of those that had David Montgomery. And I told you that he was going to pop off, and he finally did. And Boss won our league because of him. I've been wanting to get him off his team for like 6 weeks now, and that never happened. But I digress. Point being is, this is the biggest game, obviously, of the Bears season. Win, and you're in. Obviously, AZ and his cards could also help us out a little bit if they end up losing. So, Trent, I'm going to need you and John Wolford to, do something out there, right? So, like, make it happen. So, let's talk about this game. But even before the game, Joe, I got to tell you something, all right? Right after this show, I usually go have breakfast, right? And I go have an omelet. And when I make my omelet, I like to put some cheese in it. So I usually shred cheese, and the Bears will be doing that too as well today. Okay, because this is our Super Bowl. Okay, forget the playoffs right now.
I see where this is going.
Super Bowl, and this is the damn Green Bay Packers. And all I know is this: the Cincinnati Bengals, their Super Bowl was against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they found a way to surprise them and win that game. I think the same thing happens here. All the stars aligned for us. David Bakhtiari's out. He mysteriously tore his ACL somehow. So
at 11:59, 2020 had one more little gift.
I didn't make any prayers or anything like that. Trust me, boss. Prayers up to him, by the way. Seriously. Hopefully he has a full recovery. Yeah. So we know the defense is going to get amped up, and the Bears offense playing its best football of the year late. So all of those things combined,
the fact that this is at Soldier Field, I think 9 of the last 11 games at Soldier Field between Bears and Packers have been one-score games. So I think it's going to be a close game. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. I feel like the Bears are going to just go all out of here. And I think the Bears win this game 24-21 on a Cairo Santos game-winning field goal.
That's really broad. It's really broad of you to think the Bears are going to win on a game-winning field goal. I have a quick rebuttal for the Dave Bakhtiari thing, because obviously towards ACL, terrible news. Best left tackle in the league, just god awful to hear that for the Packers going into the playoffs. But I will say one thing: Billy Turner, when Bakhtiari's out earlier, did play left tackle against the Bears as well, and I think Khalil Mack had a 3% win rate against him that game. So Billy Turner's no joke either. He's had a wonderful year. Last year he wasn't so well, but this year he's played really well at right tackle, right guard, and also left tackle. So they're not going to lose much. Obviously Dave Bakhtiari is a generational left tackle talent, but they're not going to someone like Marshall Newhouse from 2011, who was complete trash. So their offensive line's still probably the best in the league. Elton Jenkins can play anywhere. Corey Linsley's back, who's an all-pro center. I'm worried about Lucas Patrick at that right guard spot if he does play. Maybe get John Runyon Jr. in for a little bit. But like I said, it's going to be a close game, just like Fai said. I still got the Packers winning by 1 score, maybe 10 points. But, it's going to be a lot hard for a game. It could go either way.
Yeah, I think it's with 1-1.
Well, it's going to be a good one. Let's put it that way. This is one I will be watching. But again, will the Packers give it their all, knowing that they've
100%? Yes, they're going for the number 1 seed. They need to win to get the number 1 seed, or it pretty much just win.
That's it. Just win.
I'll be watching this game, obviously, and then I'm gonna be watching Trent's live stream, AZ's live stream, the Rams game, the Cards game. I need 10 eyes at 3:25 today, because I got so much shit to watch. So,
all right, guys, we appreciate it. Good luck, man. Go make their omelet, man. Cheeseheads.
Not a lot of cheese, guys. Come on.
All right, let's move on here. Let's talk about those Tennessee Titans, and let's bring our guys on for Tennessee and Houston. You guys could battle it out.
There's not going to be much battling today, Joe.
Oh, not battling my ass. Here's one thing you need to know: the Houston Texans do suck, but you know who we hate the most? The Tennessee Titans. We have a chance to knock them out the playoffs. The last time the Tennessee Titans played the Houston Texans, we said this could be an amazing game. And it definitely was. And it definitely was. The Houston Texans right now are Andy Ruiz, and the Tennessee Titans are Anthony Joshua. The first fight, we're going to come in, we're going to sneak one in, and we're going to win at home.
Well, I hope not. Because if the Bills rest their starters, that means the Titans are going to be sitting at home in the playoffs, and we definitely don't want that. So,
no, this is why I love it, right? Because all our games the past couple of weeks have been, well, you got nothing to play for. Now you could potentially screw over somebody who's been your enemy for the past, since the creation of the Houston Texans, and it looks like, man, your season's going to come to an end because of Deshaun Watson lighting up the field. He is Houdini himself. It's going to happen, Titans. You just have to accept it.
Well, the thing I'm worried about actually is your run game, because last week the Packers, which was funny, they don't mention the snow and the weather conditions and Tannehill, whatever. I know it's an excuse. The refs were awful in that game too. But you guys getting David Johnson back look to be running the ball a little bit better. If the Titans can't stop the run, we already know Watson. 334, 4 touchdowns in week 6 versus the Titans. That's what's got us concerned. And I don't know if you heard the news, a guy that we kind of throw in the D-line. He's a nice run stopper. Tier Tart just added to the COVID list, so he won't be there for today. So we'll see how much Tunsil out for you guys will impact you, but we have no pass rush. We're 32nd in the league, 32nd in the league on third down percentage as far as defense. We're going to have our work cut out for us. I'm not taking you guys lightly, but here's one thing. You guys have nothing to play for draft-wise to tank, since that pick's going to the Dolphins. And I don't know about you, but I'd feel a lot better if I was the 8th or 9th pick giving that up rather than giving up a top 3 pick. So I know you guys will come out.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Like, that's why, look, this is going to be J.J. Watt's last game as a Houston Texan. This is going to be, a lot of people's last game as coaches. Let's go out and let's ruin your day. I would love nothing more than after the game is done to just give you a huge shout out and say, hey, man, we sent you home.
Yeah. It could happen. We know.
So what happens for you? What happens to Tennessee to get in? Can you explain it to us? Mark?
It's simple. We win. We're the division champs. We'll be the 4 seed, likely to play the Ravens, I would think, unless the Bills do rest their starters, then it would be Miami. Now, if we lose, which is a possibility, then we're going to need the Colts to lose, which that ain't going to happen. They'll beat the Jaguars, even though they lost week 1.
Yeah.
But then we also would need the Dolphins to lose, or the Ravens to lose, or the Browns to lose. And I don't know how any of those, and I think the Browns own the tiebreaker versus us head-to-head. So realistically, Baltimore needs to lose, or Indy, or the Dolphins.
But when you're
basically, if they lose, they're fucked.
Yeah, because all the other teams are going to win that we don't want to win.
But if you win, you're in, right? No matter what. You win, you're in.
No matter what.
All right, I'll be following the Tennessee. I kind of like the Tennessee Titans, too, because I've been to Tennessee. I was there for the draft. Great place to be. Love the town. Love the people. Friendly people. And I'm a big Derrick Henry fan. So I'm rooting for – it's weird because I like the Colts, but I like Tennessee, too. There's certain teams I just gravitate to. Tennessee is just one of those teams I like. I really like – I'm a crazy Henry fan.
223 today. If he can get 223, he'll be at 2K. But as
he might get it. He might get it.
I don't know if we want to see that today, though. I mean, I'd rather get up ahead and let him rest a little bit. But
he can do it. He can do it. He's
going to be a good
beast.
game. But before I let y'all go, this has been a great year. I'm sorry my Houston Texans were dog shit. That's not going to be the case next year, guys. It's just 7-3.
And what happened to David Johnson? How come David Johnson decides to turn it up now? What the hell happened to this guy?
He went to a life coach, bro. So watch this.
Is that what happened?
So peep game. He felt the pressure of course you're gonna feel pressure. We traded DeAndre Hopkins for you, dude.
Yeah.
And he had to go to a life coach, a motivator per se. And for the past 2 weeks, he's been an absolute monster. He had 150 yards combined the game 2 weeks ago, and then he had 120 yards rushing this week. And we're gonna see what he does against like Mr. Talinopoulos said. They don't have a very good run defense or a pass rush. So that's what's happened to him. But I don't care. I still want the dude gone. He's not good. We just need to get the old Bill O'Brien regime over there. We need to get Jack East to be out of there. So.
All right, guys, we appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot.
Up.
See you.
Tighten up.
Thanks, down till I drown.
Let's move on to the let's talk about the Denver Broncos here. Joe, are you here? I don't know if Joe's not here. Let's move on. Arizona and the Rams. Both ambassadors are here. Let's talk about that. Arizona.
Yeah, kind of an
Rams.
Exciting game.
Yeah, this is a big game. This is a huge game. Huge. So much so that he's leaving. I'm sorry. So you're in the field already. I see you're already at the game.
Yep. I'm here. I was just hanging out with the Wolf of Ball Street, John Wolford, the Rams, the new Kurt Warner, the 2021 Kurt Warner for the Rams. There's so much hype around a guy that has never thrown an NFL pass before. It's crazy. If you go on Rams Twitter, everyone just is like, what are we going to do next week when we're in the playoffs? And it's going to be between him and Goff. And I'm like, whoa. We still have a game to play against a pretty good team. So let's just slow our roll on that. But I think with the way Goff has been playing lately, it is a bit of a pleasant, or it's a nice change, because there has been less and less faith, even within the organization and with the fan base around Jared Goff. Although Goff typically plays well against Arizona, and McVay is 7-0 against Arizona. We're missing Cooper Kupp. Cam Akers is a game-time decision. Andrew Whitworth is still out. Michael Brockers is out. So we have a lot of guys out in this game, and we're starting a quarterback that's never thrown a pass before. So this is anything but a sure thing. And but we'll see. I'm also going to be sorry, Faison, I'm pulling for the Packers in this one. So if the Packers win, then the Rams are in no matter what. But I'm interested to see what Mike's feeling on the other end.
What's up, guys? Yeah, absolutely, man. This game is huge for the Arizona Cardinals. Not only playoffs, you win, you get in type of thing. So I'm really excited about that situation. But 7-0, man, that's always going to be behind my mind. Sean McVay has had the Arizona Cardinals number time and time again. It's frustrating, but this might be our opportunity to break that streak. I get John Wolford. There's a hype coming, with John Wolford. I actually not knew him, but basically he was a quarterback for the AAF, Hot Shots for the Arizona, and I was awesome. I like John Wolford as well. He had some struggles, but with Sean McVay being his coach, granted, it's only been like a week of preparation, so who knows exactly what's going to come out today. But I wouldn't be surprised if, honestly, he lights it up, because this Arizona Cardinal team is so off and on. I don't know what team we're going to get. Absolutely. Like, sometimes the defense shows up and we're like, yes, we're awesome. We're good. But then again, a backup quarterback does like crazy stuff to us. So I wouldn't be surprised if John Wolford like goes crazy on this Cardinal team.
Yeah, and he's a mobile quarterback. He's kind of like Kyler Murray in a way, where or even Russell Wilson, where he can definitely make plays with his feet, whereas Goff that's definitely
stationary.
Not his thing. So
for sure,
I'm just wondering, like, if the Cardinals practicing against Kyler Murray every week, like in practice, if they're used to like seeing that mobile quarterback, kind of like maybe gives them a little bit of prep. And I'm also curious about Kyler Murray. I know he had a leg injury. I'm just curious to know, like, I don't think he's 100%, but do you think he's like, he'll be mobile, or do you think he'll be staying more within the pocket?
Well, what they're telling us here on our side here is basically he's good to go. Now, that could be anything. You know what I mean? We've seen Kyler Murray when he's not 100%. We thrive when Kyler Murray's playing his game, pretty much running out of the pocket, doing all this different stuff with his legs. So they're saying that he's 100%, but I've heard this time and time again. So we will really see this first quarter. Like, if he's not running, obviously he's not 100%. One thing to also note, Christian Kirk, one of our wide receivers, is not going to be here because of COVID. He's been put on the COVID list. He's our number 2 wide receiver, which is kind of cool because a lot of people are frustrated with him. We're going to get Keyshawn Johnson and see what he's going to do. And Larry Fitzgerald might miss this game as well. So he's a game time decision as well with a hip injury, I believe it was. So there might not be any Larry Fitzgerald. But honestly, I like to see these new wide receivers because it's going to be the new regime. What happens if Larry Fitzgerald retires next year? We're going to have to see it right here. So I'm excited about this game. Confidence level, probably a 7. I'm not even going to lie to you. Even if you guys are rolling with John Wolford, this Arizona Cardinal team is just so off and on that I don't – the confidence with me, man, I don't know where to go.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like, if there's some teams you just feel better against. So, like, the fact that the Rams are, depleted, but they are playing Arizona, because Arizona – I think, with Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins, you always got to be, you never know, even though we have Jalen and Aaron Donald, but you still can't put anything past them. But it's the Arizona defense that I feel, is like middle of the pack in a lot of categories. And I think that's something that, the Rams, I just, Jared Goff, I just think having a breath of fresh air and someone who won't turn the ball over all the time. Jared Goff had 17 turnovers in 15 games this year. And I think you just kind of, if you can take that element out of it, then you really give your team a chance, because the Rams are just kind of like this dink and dunk team. And who knows? Another big thing is if Cam Akers doesn't play, we don't have Darrell Henderson, and it's going to be Malcolm Brown and Xavier Jones, an undrafted free agent out of SMU. So, it's going to be like, I think we just have no idea what the hell is going to happen.
We don't.
Everyone's going crazy this week is, like we said, you have the Packers and the Bears, and if the Bears win, then you guys, I think, are in, even if you lose.
I think this is the way I understand it. So basically Cardinals need to win. And if they win, we're in, because I think we got a little bit more divisional round or divisional wins than the Rams do. But let's say, for example, I think Green Bay is going to win too, personally. You're not the only one there, Trent. So I do think that Green Bay will win. So I think what's going to happen is if we beat you guys, then we'll go to the 6th and you guys will go to the 7th. I think that's the way it stands out. But if the Bears end up winning, then you guys get kicked out if we beat you. If we don't beat you, we're out. Like, we're done.
So if the Bears lose and you lose, the Bears still make it?
The Bears still make it. Yep. The Bears are 7th and you guys are staying at your 6th.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Because they have a higher advantage than we do, because for some reason their schedule is a little harder, is what the NFL says. So they have an advantage over us. We have to win. There's no exception.
Yeah, and if you guys lose, it's going to be crazy to see what happens, because you guys started out pretty hot to the season.
Yeah.
And, and it's not just the Cardinals. It's Cliff Kingsbury. I just don't feel like as a head coach, he's like a guy. I feel like if he was more an OC, but I think as a head coach, I remember the end of the game, the last game we played, there was like the last 3 or 4 minutes, there were some head scratchers with time management and different things. And I was like, ooh, the Cliff Kingsbury experience. So
stay tuned, man. Honestly, if we lose this game, nothing to do with your Rams, but it's more on Cliff Kingsbury. If we lose this game, there's going to be some videos on my channel. It's going to be a rip job. Let me just tell you that right now. There's absolutely no reason for us to lose this game. I'm not, and it's not so much as the Rams. It's just what's depleted at this right now. Like, if we can't take advantage, then we obviously know our answer there. But we'll see what happens.
On paper, the Cardinals should win this game.
Yeah, you're right.
So I agree with you on that. But it's just these kind of intangible things that
any given Sunday, man. Any given Sunday.
It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to this one, guys. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys for some content. Hopefully you guys do some collabs on YouTube together. I'd love to see you guys here on Fan to Fan. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Let's move on here. Seahawks, Norb Cam. Where are you? Norb Cam.
What's up, Joe? Happy New Year to you, man.
Happy New Year, man. I know the Seahawks have clinched, so this is, what is this, a chill-out game or what?
No, well, no, not really. Right now, we're still in that running for that number 1 seed, believe it or not. We basically need some help because, we had the Carolina, we had, Big Cat on there sounding all depressed and mailing it in. But we need the Panthers to pull out some kind of a miracle, and we need the Bears to pull out some kind of miracle. Because if that happens, and then the Seahawks take care of business against the Niners, the Seahawks would be the number 1 seed, baby.
Wow.
So, and they're all playing at the same time. So I'm going to be watching this game, but I'm going to be scoreboard watching hard, too. Because if it looks like it's not going to happen, then we're solid in the number 3 seed. And the Seahawks might just end up resting their players for the second half. But for the first half, while all the games are going on, it's going to be everything's still up for grabs. So I'm hoping that those two teams can pull off some kind of a miracle and we can take care of business against the Niners. So the Niners, man, they're playing, they're playing better, even though they've had this whole, just bad season with all the injuries and everything like that. They've played, relatively well the last, couple weeks, and I never take the Niners easy, especially since they got Kittle coming back, but Seattle's playing some of their best ball right now, and so I'm feeling really good. Everyone's talking about the Bucs. You're talking about the Bucs, and then we're talking about the Packers and all that stuff. But Seattle's playing as good a football right now as they have all year. So Seahawks are healthy at the right time, and their defense is coming together, completely fixed a lot of the issues that they had at the beginning of the season. So Seattle right now, I'm feeling pretty good about our team. Just quietly, just sort of trying to take care of business, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
It's anybody's match in the playoffs. So you've got it's tough division. There's some really good juggernauts here. You got the Saints. You got, again, Packers. Packers, Saints. You got the Bucs. Which team, match-wise, would be the most difficult to you to face? Because you could say, oh my God, these guys will probably give us the biggest challenge out of those kind of the names I mentioned, really.
Well, and it's for me, the Packers are the top of the NFC right now, especially if they get home field advantage. The Seahawks historically have just not done well at Lambeau. We haven't won a game in Lambeau since the 90s.
Wow. Okay,
Mike Holmgren in 99. That's the last time the Seahawks won a game in Lambeau. So you can imagine why this is so important for Seattle to get the number 1 seed.
Right.
Just because the thought of having to play out there just is not good. We lost last year in the divisional round and a game that we should have won. It was that close, but we just have not been able to put it together in Lambeau. So they're going to be a tough matchup, especially in Lambeau.
But hold on, one thing
that we haven't played well against New Orleans. So
but the crowd's
not
there
right now ahead of us are. They're tough. That's why I'm hoping we can somehow leapfrog these guys.
Sorry to interrupt, but that's one thing that I noticed when I was a betting man, because I put a lot of money down here on games throughout the years, and every time the Packers at home, they were pretty much a money pick. So, but when I look at that, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, well, there isn't a crowd there. The crowd isn't as big there. Maybe that could work towards Seattle's favor. That it's not truly Lambeau Field like Lambeau Field usually is, right? Who knows?
I'd like to think that, but I don't know if it's really the crowd that's the issue. It's the elements. There's no place. There are a few places that match. Lambeau Field in the wintertime with the snow potential, the cold, and all that. And Aaron Rodgers, man, he and Devontae Adams, those guys seem to be oblivious to it. So everyone else is on skates, slipping and sliding. Those guys they look like they're running out on field turf. So the thought of playing there is scary for me, but. So right now we just got to focus on this game and take care of business against the Niners and hope the other two teams can do their thing too. But one kind of note that's pretty exciting is that DK Metcalf comes into this game basically 6 yards away from breaking Steve Largent's all-time season-high receiving yardage record that stood for over 30 years. So I'm pretty confident that DK will get that today, and that'll be a pretty huge milestone for him on a season that's already been pretty outstanding. So more great things ahead for that guy. He's not the perfect receiver yet. He's got still some things to clean up on his side. He should have broken that record already if he had not casually walked into the end zone and got the ball punched out of his hand and a couple other opportunities that he missed. But he's pretty special, and so looking forward to seeing what he can do today and see him break that record. Should happen sometime during that game against the Niners.
Yeah, I've been on the Seattle train because, again, that rookie card, I need it to go up in value. So if Russell isn't getting MVP for the actual NFL, I want that Super Bowl MVP, which is going to inflate my card. Then I can sell it and put a down payment down on another house.
That's why you got to get off the Bucs train, man. And you got to get on the Seahawks, man, because that'll be do a lot more favors for you.
But if Russell was retiring,
if I have to see Brady win another ring, I think I'm going to throw up, man. I don't need to see that one more time, man.
But I really believe, again, I feel he will get one. It'll just happen. It's a conspiracy. And Russell's not, if Russell was retiring this year, I'd say, okay, Seahawks all in. But he's still a young guy. He's still got a couple more years. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out. Maybe I'm wrong. Brady just, folds and he never wins another ring. But the signs are pointing, man, like just clues, like bringing Antonio Brown in, bringing this Gronkowski back. The elements are all there, bringing in Fournette because they thought they'd get a workhorse running back out of it, right? It's just putting it together for me. I don't know. I could be wrong.
This is a great, I love this point in the season. Obviously, for me as a Seahawks fan, every game has been a stress case. Today, not so much, obviously, because no matter what happens, we're in the 3 seed. Worst case scenario, obviously, we'd love to get higher. But it's nice to feel like, okay, it's not one of these have a heart attack type games. But there's a lot of heart attack moments going to be happening for a lot of other fans earlier who are just win to get in or need help from other teams. So it'll be fun. This is an exciting Sunday with so much on the line. So we'll definitely be doing a lot of scoreboard watching. But we'll see what happens, man. Seahawks just got to take care of the Niners first, which is no easy task.
Exciting for me, too. Now the fantasy's over, right? It's exciting for me because I can actually watch the games and not be stressed out about my fantasy team. And also, when playoffs come, it's like I don't got to worry about that whole slew of 1 o'clock games. I can just enjoy every playoff games for what it is and really take it in. I love playoffs.
Yeah, that is the thing. This is the first year I've played fantasy. I didn't do great. I did okay considering it's my first year. I did try to follow, your steps, and there was a few moves that just didn't pan out. Obviously, some running backs that kind of just didn't, go the way it went. But that's kind of in everybody's season this year. But I'll tell you, man, that's weird. It's weird having done fantasy for the first time. It is such a strange thing because normally I just root for my Seahawks and anything that will help them. And now I'm here watching teams and players who I would never give two craps about, and now have guys playing against my team. It was a weird feeling, man. Just having these mixed emotions of trying to root for your team, but also all these other things you're looking into. But
it screws it up.
It was fun. It was fun doing it, and definitely learned a lot and benefited by some of your tips along the way.
Well, that's why you see me. I've got a Bears hat here. I got a Packers hat. I got a Raiders hat down there because I like Josh Jacobs until we said we're going to fight each other in a boxing match. But yeah, it really screws up your whole thought process of like, who do you cheer for? So I don't really have a team anymore. It's very hard for me to just stick to one team. I kind of base my team on which fantasy players I have. So yeah, it kind of screws you up a little bit, but you got to just stay loyal to your team and make fantasy a second thing for you if you're a real dedicated guy, just the way it has to be.
That's why I get a lot of people ask me, hey, Norm, who's your second favorite team? I was like, I don't have a second favorite team.
Yeah.
I root for the Seahawks and that's it, and any team that will help my team, But I hear these people say, yeah, the Bills are my first favorite team, and then the Rams. And I was like, how do you do that? And then if your two favorite teams meet up in a playoff game or something, how does that work? I can't reconcile that thought process. I'm one team and that's it. So
that's how it should be. It's nice to focus in on one team. It just makes them more exciting because you know that team in and out. You know the DNA. You follow them. Like right now, I'm trying to get into basketball and I just don't have a team. So I'm like all over. I'm trying to learn this player and this player. It's just so much to it, right? So yeah, it's good to focus in.
No, I feel the same way. Ever since the NBA took the Sonics away from Seattle, like a long time ago now, but I used to, the Sonics were the best game in town for a long stretch during the early 90s and mid 90s when, Seahawks football wasn't very good. The Mariners, weren't very good. And so the Sonics were the only thing that we had that was, exciting to watch.
Who was their best player again? Man. His name is slipping me. It's not Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp was the other guy. Who's the guy that you had that was the best player on the Sonics?
Gary Payton?
That's it. Yeah, Gary Payton. That's it.
Oh, Gary Payton and the Rain Man, Sean Kemp. The two of them as a duo, man, was so they were the epitome. They represented everything that was at the peak of Sonics basketball. Peyton to Kemp, with his monster jams, man. It was something to behold back in the day.
Yeah,
I miss those days. Someday we'll get an NBA team back in here, but whether it'll be called the Sonics or not, I don't know. But man, it's so weird how much NBA has just fallen off my passion radar ever since the Sonics left.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
It fell off my radar when Jordan left, so I got to get back into it. so yeah. Well, no, I appreciate it, Norb. Good luck to the Seahawks. Hopefully, you get that first seed, man.
Hey, I would love a little New Year's miracle here just to get those three things to happen. Seahawks win, Packers lose, and the Saints lose. If those things could all happen, man, it would be a great start to 2021.
I think you pushed it with the Saints, but you never know. Crazier things have happened, right?
I'll take the 2 seed though. Mostly I just want to see the Packers lose. I mean, that game is definitely the Bears need to win that game. Obviously, it's a win and you're in situation, so that one will be fun to
That's probably the most exciting game to watch, and I'll watch that. And it always happens this matchup here, and I think it always stays close based on what I've done when I'm betting. So I'm almost tempted to take the Bears at 4.5, the underdog here when I'm looking at the spread. So it seems tempting.
Yeah. They've got a shot, man. They've got a shot, but they're gonna have to shut down. At least calm Aaron
Rodgers down. It'll be good.
Man. You've just got to keep Aaron Rodgers, and they got to keep him in check somehow, man, because when he starts to go off, it's just not a good thing for any other team. So,
all right,
come on, Bears, you can do this thing. We need your help.
All right, guys, we appreciate you. Thanks, Norb. We appreciate you.
All right, go Hawks.
All right, guys, that wraps it up here. I got to wrap it up here and just say the Colts are playing Jacksonville. They are a 15-point favorite, and I think that's the only game we missed. Chargers and the Chiefs. Chargers are actually a 6-point favorite because obviously Chiefs are arresting all their players. So that's pretty much it, guys. This is it, Week 17. We're going to get into playoffs. We may do some other lives throughout the season, the off season, that is. But as of right now, this was our last virtual tailgate of the season for 2020. Thank you guys for being here. Subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Fan to Fan Network. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the games and